Welcome back to State of Play with Brandon Bales. I am, of course, Brandon Bales, and I am here today with two very talented video game designers from Tequila Works from Madrid, Spain. We have Raul Rubio.
Hi.
And Niklas Wennersten. Thanks for being on the show, guys.
Thank you very much.
We're just coming off of E3, the big show, and welcome. All right, this is your first time at E3 as Tequila Works, yes?
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you guys are 2 years old, isn't that the case, or the studio itself?
Thank you for the compliment. Yeah, the studio is 2 years old.
Cool. You guys this summer are bringing out the game Deadlight, which I would describe as a 2D survival horror game. Can you just maybe describe the game in 2 or 3 sentences?
This is it. 2 or 3 sentences.
It's a challenge.
Narrator speech. Well, if I say Shadow Complex with zombies, wouldn't be very fair. No, it's not.
Wouldn't be true either.
It's very easy. I mean, it's a 2.5D cinematic platformer set in an alternate 1986, overrun by zombies, where survival is based on avoiding confrontation instead of mindless shooting.
That's great. I love
that. Was 3 sentences.
Yeah, that was great. Exactly right. Yeah, I saw it on the show floor, and I thought I was really impressed with the style. Yeah, so I can't wait to play it. But we'll come back to that because I want to start with the company itself. How did you guys get started?
Well, we started actually Tequila Works in late 2009. Deadlight was started to be conceived even before Tequila Works existed.
Okay.
So by the time we were working in different companies in the movie and games industry. For example, our director was working in Sony at the time in Liverpool in Motorstorm Apocalypse. And our lead environment artist was had been making 3 Diablo 3s for 6 years in Blizzard. And I was one of the co-founders of Mercury's team, so we were working on the pre-production of Castlevania, for sure. What were you making at the time, Niklas?
At the time, when you started?
In 2009.
2009. Oh yeah, I were just finishing up college. So I was in Uppsala actually, interning at Imagination Studios, the mocap studio up there. And yeah, I had absolutely no idea what was going on, and
that's a long tradition in game development. We never know what we
are
doing.
I still don't actually. I have no idea what I'm doing, but somehow it worked out, you know.
After working in so many AAA games, not Niklas because he is young but talented, we decided to come back to our roots, to our origins, and make something smaller, but as we say in our website, it's a very corporate law motto, creating small taste of things. And that means that we wanted to dedicate all the experience and things that we learned all over these years to a small package, and creating something that where attention to detail is almost obsessive. And well, the result is Deadlight, but that was in our DNA from the beginning, from the conception of the studio, that everybody, and this is mandatory, must actively contribute to the project until making their own. This is very important because even if in my card says creative director, it's not my vision for the game. There was an original vision, that's for sure, but it was enriched by the contribution of all the people, everybody, from Niklas to Oscar and Christina and everybody. And of course, the result is far better than one single person's vision.
Right, that's awesome. It's I love it how indie games are coming to this. I love that people are sort of discovering that for themselves. These game companies, and people are going small. I just got done talking to Nathan Bella from Cappy Games, and it was the same discussion. It's saying like, what do we want to make? What do we really want to do? And let's focus on making the best thing we can. It doesn't have to be huge, and it really can really pay off, I think, at the end of a cycle. So that's great. I'm glad you guys have such a good vision. Or have you? Now, also, I'll probably bring this up many times throughout the course of interviews lately, but I've been reading about Valve's business practices and how it's all flat and everything. Would you say that some of that has influenced the way that Tequila Works runs?
Well, of course, we discovered, as everybody, Valve's book this year, so there was not such a public influence, but the ideas were, the same concepts were there, and we were very surprised that some concepts that we wanted to implement, not the Hawaii holidays, but the flat organization were there, and we were really glad and relieved that that can work. Of course, on paper, sounds really cool. Complete freedom and stuff, but when you have too much, that's a nightmare. And we discovered soon that this concept only could work if the core team was really small and kept a human scale. So for example, Deadlight core team is 12 people, no less, no more. And even if more people can come to the project later, they came with the core was already defined, so it was safe. Open mind, but there's a moment when you have to close and just start producing. But yeah, as Capi said, it's like life. You can choose, and we are always saying this in self-help books and stuff. Do whatever you want, not whatever you are told to. But of course, that's not easy. Everybody who's living now knows that that is not very easy to live your own life. And we achieved to that. We didn't start saying we want to make the game we want to, because even if Tequila Studio is a new company, most of us had a lot of experience. And we already know what's working on a big company in AAA games, 5 years in development, and what's not being too risky because too much money is in play. And we decided to go the opposite because as a company was the most intelligent option, but also as creative people was the only thing that motivated us.
That's lovely to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's true, anyway.
Great. So this has been, is it correct in saying that Deadlight is the one project you worked on since the inception of the company? Or
no.
More? Okay, all right. Cool. We will go there.
It's the first project we started to work as Tequila Works.
Right.
That means it's the only one
right.
we have been working on these years.
I got you. Your secret's safe with me so far.
No, it's okay. When we finish Deadlight, we will say if there's something more.
Sure. Great. So let's get right into it.
Thank you.
Deadlight looks like an awesome game, and let's talk about some of the ideas that formed the basis of it. What are some of those ideas?
It all started with a very quick speed painting by our art director. He made it at lunch time, so it was really fast. It was he painted on a photo. It was a really detailed a background environment with this beautiful sky and an empty city. And he started to draw shadows. Really silhouettes of a single man with a long coat and a rifle. Sorry. Yeah, rifle is a word in English?
Yeah, rifle.
rifle. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh, I learned a new word. And they were ambushing him some menacing shadows that were not very well defined and were blurry. And the world behind this man was so detailed and was so rich, but at the same time felt so empty, so dead. And we started to figure out, Cesar and me were to go jogging, and we lived together, and we were all day discussing what happened there, who was that guy, why he wasn't running away. He was he didn't like that like he was just trying to escape. And we didn't know if those were mutants, monsters, just people. And what happened to that world? So we started to answer that questions, and the result was Deadlight. Also helped 2 books. One of them was the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks, and the other was World War Z by Max Brooks. And then novels like The Road, as an unobvious influence. The other novel was I Am Legend. And Hello America. It's not as known as the others, but it's a very good one. And then, well, in the gameplay area, the speed painting had been made 2D. And we started to imagine how the game would be. For some reason, the vision I personally had was a very out of this world flashback moment since the beginning. We even tried to play with the idea of a 3D game, but it didn't work because for Cesar, for example, the light was very important, and the lack of light, the shadow, the silhouettes. And of course, we wanted to achieve a backlit effect, which we got in Deadlight. And in 3D, well, being an indie, small indie studio, going 3D wasn't the most. It was the worst option actually, because, well, the unique visual style would be lost. The gameplay would be complicated a lot. We need 3D pathfinding and stuff, and we decided to keep it simple. Unfortunately, in the game, the zombies have 3D pathfinding, so we didn't avoid that. But yeah, the gameplay started to click immediately. You could run and you could jump, and since you were alive, you would get tired, and we decided that the zombies should be the classic Romero one. So they were not your enemies; they were just an extra element in the puzzles, and the world itself is your enemy. But as a ruthless element of nature, he was not evil. He was just ruthless. So can be your enemy, can be your ally if you know how to move navigate your surroundings. And it makes a lot of sense because Randall Wayne, he had no name by the time, of course, was a person who is used to surviving in this world. He's not trying to escape because there's no escape. In Deadlight, the world is already, it's already fucked, so yeah.
Right.
Can we say fuck in the interview? I can
yes,
say.
Yeah, you say whatever you want.
Okay.
Fuck, shit, poop.
Okay.
Cool. That's great. Yeah, and that style, clearly was achieved. I think you're right in seeing the game as much as I have. It's a really beautiful. Yeah, I don't have to. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's the beauty of Death. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. You guys have really accomplished that. But in going along in terms of the light, I think it's interesting that the zombies are called shadows. I think that's
because they are. Yeah. Well, they are literally shadows.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So, is there anything about this world? You said the zombies are Romero zombies. Is there anything else different about them, or anything unique in your?
We dedicated a whole year of biology study, and this is not a joke, to learn how real zombies could exist in this world. So of course we had to make a few little changes in the universe, but we achieved that, and the result is a marionette. I mean, a walking corpse, literally. And one of the things that in zombie stories are not very well explained is what are zombies. I mean, there's always this discussion, are they, I mean, they have their memories, no? And for us, the result was that they are dead. I mean, they are gone, and the result is just this corpse, and whatever is inside the brain is controlling it. And for example, in Deadlight, the zombies don't bite you and try to eat you because they're hungry. It's and well, this is a bit naughty, but they are reproducing themselves. They are spreading like a disease because it's a disease. They only use the corpses as clinics. I mean, they waste the energy to move around and bite another person, and then, well, it's like a virus. By the way, biologically, they are not virus, but it's more prion-based.
Yeah.
I can't explain it worse in English. Sorry, kids.
All the kids are watching, crying. We want more zombie science. Cool. So let's talk about the gameplay elements and how the way the zombies came together affected. I mean, let's just talk about the gameplay elements. Like, it reminded me, especially after we talked about it on the floor, that it reminded me a lot of like Prince of Persia. And I guess there are some Shadow Complex elements to it, or it's that sort of style. And then but am I right in assuming that there's not like, the game isn't about finding power-ups and getting to new areas, like a missile launcher? Or
no, it's not a Metroidvania game.
Yeah, okay. So
that's good. Just to define once for all, it's not a Metroidvania game.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Well, we have been seeing that since the beginning, actually, because our main influences were the classic cinematic platformers like the original Prince of Persia, Out of This World, and Flashback.
Flashback.
It's more linear kind of game. We have some areas that are Metroidvania, but it's not the point of the game. And well, of course, we feel really honored if we are compared to Shadow Complex or Limbo, because well, they are great games and they sold a lot. But no, the point was not recreating Shadow Complex or Limbo, but going back to the roots of what a cinematic platformer is. It's a very vintage flavor, because we go back to old school gameplay, evolve it to today's audience, because well, today players are less tolerant to frustration, and you only have to play Out of This World again, and you know what frustration really is. So in this case was a balance between that frustration that can be good if it's well managed, and challenge.
So you found yourself, I imagine, putting in maybe more checkpoints than you would have thought at first, or something like that. Was that a challenge for the team?
Well, not a true challenge, more a technological challenge for the programmers. But no, it's more like making the world dangerous, ruthless, but never unfair. You cannot cheat the player, because they feel that, and it's like, come on, I was winning the race, and then the other car, the Mario Kart, appeared behind me. That's unfair. No, we never tried to go that way. And if we got a scene, or because we consider the game divided in a scenes, like not like a movie, but a theater stage representation. If we got to that result, it was like we are in a 10th end, because we cannot cheat the player. So go back and remake that part. So it's not an easy game. It's not a casual game. I'm not going to lie to players, sorry. But it's very easy to start to play, because the controls are very easy, very 80s. I mean, it's a 2D game, so you move, you jump. You have contextual actions, set barricades, taunt enemies, the usual gameplay from the 80s. But of course, it's very hard to master. And late in the game, you will know what survival means.
That's great. Yeah, I noticed as I was playing that it does a good job at the beginning of showing you how to interact with the world and how it's pretty simple, but it obviously seems like the puzzles are well crafted and seem like they're really going to expand. I could see room for lots of expansion. It was exciting. Games like this, 2D games, what excites me about them nowadays is that, as gamers, we all know them so well. I've done them, so many times. Like when you see, there's so much promise in the beginning of a game like this, because your game is beautiful in it, and I get excited, especially hearing that it's not a Metroidvania game. That there's that you guys are like going. I imagine it's going to be packed, with good moments, and interesting, innovative ways to explain the gameplay as it moves along without relying on the traditional power-up methods. So I'm excited to play it.
Thank you very much. It means a lot for the team because they have worked really hard. We have on board really talented people that have spent years of their lives to create this beautiful world. But of course, we didn't want to stop there. I mean, it's a beautiful dead world. It doesn't mean it's empty at all. There had to be an experience behind that. So we are really glad that you like it. And give us your feedback this summer of Arcade when it's available.
That's cool. I will. Has it been good working with Microsoft? Have they you guys did you feel lucky to get into the arcade promotion this summer?
Well, you bet. I mean, 2 months ago we never imagined that we would be in the Summer of Arcade, and 2 weeks ago we didn't even know that we were going to be at E3. So, so yeah, I mean, being the first project of a new studio, even if the people behind it are veterans, it's a dream come true. I mean, we created Tequila Works, and we conceived Deadlight as a project that we ourselves would distribute. I mean, we are self-financed, and we were willing to publish itself. So in that way, the digital distribution platforms are very good for that, because, well, you don't have to fight with the old enemies of, of the game developers. In that sense, when Microsoft got interested and got on board, it was really easy and really straightforward, because they gave us complete creative freedom, and they relied only on taking care of the tricky business parts. So for us, it has been really, really comfortable, but without losing the sensation of vertigo that there's no floor under your feet. And that's a good thing, because creativity is it's always fueled by stress, by danger. So for us, it's the perfect scenario. We can go risky, but the world won't end if we screw up.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, so in the future, when you guys go on to do your next project, do you see that core team being the same? Maybe not the same people, but the same size. Is Tequila Works going to, for the foreseeable future, be a smaller company? The
philosophy is always the same. So we don't want. We have already been there on that. So the idea is not growing to be a really big studio, because we would lose the personal touch and the human scale. So yeah, even for example, if we have combined two teams of 12 people to finish Deadlight. One of them was the original Deadlight one, and the other was the top super secret project that we can tell anything about. After the Deadlight, we will split them again. Yeah, there will be 12 people projects. For us, that's essential. I mean, we will only make games that we truly care about. So for us, passion is not only a work. It's what we truly feel. We are not, for example, going to make a Deadlight sequel only because the first one sells.
Sure.
No. But if we have something interesting to transmit to the player. I mean, if we have if the universe is really rich, but if Deadlight 2 means 2 extra mechanics and I don't know, cooperative multiplayer, that's not I mean, it's not a good excuse for a sequel. Sure. So in that sense, we are more comfortable with original IPs or something is worth being played.
That's great. That's
Thank
good
you.
to hear. So are there any types of games that you are looking forward to? Do you have any dream projects that you would love to do someday?
Oh, so many. But most of them I can't be done for, unfortunately. For example, if you take a look at our website, we have a list of our favorite games, all-time games. For example, I'm a big fan of Out of This World, so that was okay. But also Dungeons and Dragons, Shadow of Vermistara, or Tower of Doom. I don't know who has the rights for Dungeons and Dragons, and I don't think it's worth exploring that idea. But I mean, as gamer, it's not that we have a dream project, because we have a lot. Right. Original ideas, or even trying to remake something classic. But not only games. I mean, most of the greatest influences are sometimes in, for example, books, or not only comic books or movies, but classic novels, and that kind of emotions that you can transmit to the player. I'm playing with the idea that the video games have their own rules as a medium, make you, I mean, feel like a child every day, that you can create something different and change the world. Of course, we don't take ourselves very seriously, because this must be fun, and if you are not enjoying what you are doing, it doesn't work. But in short, I don't know. You have any dream project?
Any favorite project or something I want to do?
Yeah.
No.
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 You're fired.
It's about passion.
No. Well. For me, being this is actually my first real employment. So anything that comes out from Tequila is like so amazing to work with. I mean, there's such a creative bunch of people. So whatever they come up with, it's like a dream to work with. So it's amazing. It doesn't really. Well, can I hint on stuff? But
depends. Okay, try it.
Well, you talked about splitting the team in future projects. Well, is it okay if I hint it?
Depends what you.
Well, for example, if I hint, if we have several.
I have already said that.
Okay, just making sure. Just making sure. Well. So I'm not gonna spoil any more. But yeah, it's like been a dream working on the new project as well, which I personally think is even more interesting than Deadlight. But yeah, anything that's gives me more experience is so welcome. So I don't have any special preferences right now. So, but yeah,
for some reason, people need to categorize everything. I mean, for example, what's your dream project? I don't know. People can tell you Mega Man. or Street Fighter,
right.
or whatever. But for me personally, as a creator, I wanted to really, and this is a true challenge, achieve an artistic, personal experience where you are living, I mean, you are inside a living painting. And for example, I don't know, things like Ico or Shadow of the Colossus, those kind of, not words, the feeling that you are in that world and you are with that girl, or that, I mean, that you believe that you are there, as well, as Miguel de Cervantes used to say, is the illusion of telling impossible things the way that people think that they are possible. So is, of course, that can be already applied to games. So who knows? Future is actually very brilliant for game development, and it's up to us to make it a point of inflection. I don't know if that is a true expression in English, but don't worry, my English is so crappy that
That's great.
nobody cares. So I'm Tony Montana. But yeah, it's a point of inflection where we can go in other ways, not the straightforward multi-million sequel, AAA, no risk, brown, first-person shooter on Middle Orient. Okay, no, I love FPAs, so no. No, I don't. Sorry.
Well, I do. So
okay, yeah. So it's balanced.
I'll say
no.
What
I'm trying to say is that there are other choices, and people, indie developers, are already showing that game is not only fun or entertainment, but emotions, and emotions can be positive, negative, melancholic, and stuff. Of course, I'm not going to enter in the debate of if games are art or not, because nobody cares. Yeah. I mean, if as a creator you have the task and the duty of expressing that, and I mean, it can be great and it can be crap. So let's hope that all the games we make in the future with these well, new distribution channels or even new ways of creating are interesting and worth being played.
I think that's a great way to see it and to look at it, and I appreciate that worldview.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope I welcome Tequila Works to the stage, and I think everyone else does as well. And obviously, Microsoft is having you guys on in the big promotion this summer. So congratulations on the game and on that. And
thank you very much.
Yeah, I hope it's a success for you guys. And thank you for coming on the show and spending some quality time with me.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for the opportunity to let us express ourselves and our feelings. And now, thank you to everybody watching the interview, because hey, this guy is good.
Try my best. Cool. Thanks, guys. All right.
You're welcome.
This has been State of Play with Brandon Bales. We'll see you next time.